What is going on, guys? Solomon here. All right, so the engine's back in the car. So I have really been slacking on actually videotaping this process. The engine is back in and the manual transmission is in the car. As you heard, it started up flawlessly. I'm so excited. So yeah, really, we're just gonna work on getting everything hooked up. As you can see, we don't really have any of the coolant lines hooked up yet. Timing's completely done, as you can see from the vehicle starting. Transmission's back there. We got the linkage in, which goes into gear. You can see we still need to tighten that bracket in there. I need to make some final adjustments once I actually have it on the road. Seat's still out of the vehicle. And then we took the hoist and we put the engine in the car. So simple. It was very, very simple to get this engine in here. It didn't even take me, I don't think, 20 minutes to get everything lined up with the motor mounts. We got brand new motor mounts, brand new transmission mounts. Transmission's filled up with some brand new gear oil. Yeah, everything's refreshed, you know? So this should be great. I'm excited to get all these connections put back together. So in this video, I kind of just want to go over everything that still needs to be done, everything that I still want to do with the car. So yeah, let's get into that. So as you can see, this little contraption right here, the ECU in the car is still not flashed to where it needs to be. It's still running the US automatic file, which means there is many parameters in there that are searching for certain sensors on the automatic transmission. So right now what I have the neutral safety switch. It is locked into park. I have the plug-in for that goes to the neutral safety switch, and then I have the main plug in the front of it for the solenoids and everything on the transmission. So basically, and then I also have this ground here, so it's grounded out. I'll ground it out on the battery when I go to start the car. Basically, the reason I did this was just to make sure that the engine was going to start, to make sure I didn't mess up the timing, to make sure there wasn't any crazy noises coming from the back of the bell housing with the super, super small amount of clearance. You guys remember from the flywheel video, there's like no clearance there. There's clearance, obviously, but it's not a lot. So I just wanted to make sure we weren't getting any crazy clanking noises or anything like that. As you could hear from the first startup, it sounded great. So yeah, I'm gonna be disassembling this entire mess right here. The reason we still don't have the file flash to this is because my cheap cable, if you don't know, you have to use the cheaper eBay cables to do any kind of flashing. The Rostec cable is just too advanced. It doesn't communicate properly with the software that's used for flashing the ECU. So I'm waiting on a new eBay cable to come in. I think mine's bricked. It literally makes no communication attempts whatsoever with the ECU. So we're just waiting for that to come in. It should be in on Friday. We're gonna flash over the Euro file and then change the coding with VCDS to recognize the Euro file. And as far as I know, that's everything we need to do on the ECU side. We still do need to run the wires from the clutch safety switch, the brake safety switch up to the ECU. That shouldn't take very long. I'll probably get into that tomorrow. But as you can see, we do have the pedals installed. That was actually probably one of the hardest parts of this entire swap, was getting those pedals in there with the amount of stuff that's up there. You know, you got to go around the steering column, everything like that. But there is a sensor that we're going to have to wire to the clutch here. We still need to bleed the clutch. You can see it's super limp there. We need to finish getting this attached to the brake booster. It's just barely holding on there by a couple threads, and then get that sensor in so we can make sure that we have cruise control and everything, and then we'll make sure we get the seat back in. Yeah, these eBay cables, I was doing some reading. These are just like one-time use. Basically, after you use them, they'll basically brick themselves if you try to update the firmware on them. So I would have a couple of these laying around if you know you're gonna have to utilize any form of flashing. So this is garbage. We're gonna wait for the new one to come in and we'll be able to flash this. Like I said, you saw at the beginning, you could still see the automatic coding on the cluster. We should, once we flash it, see the nice press clutch to start engine message, and then this car will look no different. There will be no real indication that this car was ever an automatic. But from there, once I'm able to actually start the car without this massive thing attached with a bunch of wires, I know it starts under the new coating and everything. Then I'm just gonna go through the process of putting everything back together. It's gonna be super straightforward on this front end. Really, I left the AC and everything fully connected. So once we move all this crap out of the way, we get all the coolant lines hooked up, we get the reservoir put back on, we'll be able to swing this back around, get the coolant line that goes from the upper radiator, the lower radiator, hook the compressor back into the bracket. We need a new serpentine belt. That's another thing too. We're gonna have to get that all webbed up once we get the compressor back in. And then this entire front clip will literally just pull up, over, a few support bolts in the frame there, a couple bolts up top, and it will be in. But we will not be ready for the first drive just yet. I do have to get these CVs put in, and then I made a massive oversight when ordering parts. When they said you needed to switch the drive shafts, I figured, you know, CV, obviously that transmission is much wider. You can see between a comparison of that for the nice thin 01E versus these little tiny guys that went with the automatic transmission because of how wide it was. But one thing I didn't take into account was the fact that this is also longer than the 01E. So we're gonna need to replace the drive shaft that goes from the output flange on the back of the 01E to the rear differential. I would get under there and show you. It's just a little bit too short. It's not gonna work. I don't wanna use some type of spacer. If you get a OEM drive shaft from a B5 S4 with a manual transmission, it'll be good. Should be on the way here soon. I found one on eBay that I'm looking at that looks great, good price. You don't have to pay like $1,500 for a new one. But other than that, all of that will have this car ready to take on a couple test drives up and down the driveway. Obviously, we had to get some wheels on there. But other than that, we should be good to back it out. I mean, I really can't believe that I'm saying that, but it is going to be time to drive this thing. The engine fires like you could hear. Oh, it's great. It's gonna go. But after that, you know, I've really been thinking of, you know, once we get everything mechanical, and I'm sure there's gonna be stuff that we need to sort out. You know, this car really, I think I put 2 miles on it with the automatic transmission. And so, you know, once this engine gets up to temperature, you know, sometimes these sensors are affected by temperature. So we'll have to do a lot of troubleshooting just to make sure. I want to make sure this engine, with the amount of work I put into refreshing all the major maintenance items, that this thing runs the way it should. So we'll work through some trials there, get all that out of the way. And then I would love to just start working on the aesthetics of this car. This thing, it's just going to be hopefully a beautiful car. Nice wide body kit on there. We'll get some really, really nice coilovers I want to go with. Get some nice wheels that complement the vehicle nicely. That can go flush with that wide body kit that comes from the factory. Just work on aesthetic stuff. I really haven't completely decided what I want to do, but just the fact that the car is running, and we're hopefully not going to have any issues once we actually get it on the ground and it's, you know, pushing power through that transmission to all 4 wheels. We will hopefully have a good time with that. Yeah, guys, I really just wanted to make a quick update video. I'm sorry, I don't think I've posted a video in almost 2 months, and as far as the S6 goes, there probably hasn't been a video posted on this car in probably 3 months at this point. I'm not sure if I've mentioned, but I did go through a pretty dramatic career change around December, so that's why some of these videos have fallen off. But I got my schedule down. I'm feeling a lot more comfortable with the industry I'm working in, so these videos are going to be coming out a lot more frequently. You guys should be seeing this video on Thursday. I'm shooting to have at least 1 video a week every Thursday. Hopefully get some bonus videos out throughout the week. There is so many projects right now that we're working on. Obviously, Spencer's car, we got some really fun ideas planned for that. Katie's car, we have some big things coming for that. They are coming in the mail. A lot of stuff that's been on back order because of, you know, all the stimulus checks. Yeah, all the stimulus checks have been causing a serious backup in some of these parts that are more desirable, such as coilovers, wheels, stuff like that. Hint for Katie's car. But yeah, I'm really, really excited to just show off the projects. Once the S6 is done, obviously we have the R32. We've been doing a lot with that behind the scenes. That thing is on the road and running. Obviously still not cosmetically where I want it to be, but we'll get there. Yeah, there's so many projects. I have a probably the craziest project still on the back burner, a vehicle that I've had here longer than the S6. I'm really excited to reveal that once the S6 is moving under its own power and we don't need all this space. It's not going to need to be in here, so we'll be able to pull it out, and then I'll be able to reveal the next big engine out drivetrain swap project that I have planned. It's going to be really, really exciting. So if you guys want to hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. The videos are back on full effect once a week minimum. Hold me to it. Hit me up on Instagram. Let me know. I'm not going to be slacking. These videos are coming full force. We got a lot of projects on the way. Summer's here. The jet ski's coming out of the barn. Everything is rolling again. Let's get it going. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the like button. I'll see you guys later. Peace.